Hi, welcome to another episode of the Paige Doodle Club. Today we will be drawing a police car as a thank you to the policemen and women who continue to serve while the rest of us are staying home. This is a great way to say thank you. You can drop these off, keeping your social distance, of course, to your local police station with a little note attached saying thank you. So grab your drawing supplies, don't be afraid to make mistakes, and let's get right to it. This police cruiser, we're going to start at the top of the grill, right where the top of the hood, right where it's going to meet the grill. And I'm going to make a slightly curving up line. So we're coming up just a little bit. That's going to be our hood. Then I'm going to make a very small mark where I want the windshield to start, but I'm not going to make that line quite yet. I'm going to continue a straight line heading towards the back of the vehicle. And right now I'm guessing that I want the back to be right about here, the back of the windshield area. So I'm going to extend this just a tiny bit beyond there. When you're drawing cars, there are a lot of angles at play that if you get one off slightly, the whole thing goes downhill. So do your best here and stick with it, and you might be pleasantly surprised at the end. So at the back here, I'm going to make just a small mark up. This is going to be the back of the rear window, and this will be the windshield and the hood, the windshield and the roof. If you want your car to look a little more aggressive, you can make the whole roof line slightly lower. Always makes cars look a little cooler and meaner. So that's our roof line, and we actually want it curving a little bit more than how I just did it, like this. So now that I've got that, now I can go ahead and take this part here. This is going to come parallel to that pretty much all the way. So I'm going to make a line here. This will be where the windows are, where the doors are. And then we're going to make a mirror on the side here. This is going to be a letter C with a slightly curved line connecting it. Then from right about here, I'm going to come up just a tiny bit, and I'm going to run parallel to our door trim here, all the way up and around, and meet up with it over here on the other side. And eventually we'll have another line coming here right about in the middle, but I want to make sure that with the rest of the proportions of the car, we get everything right before I add in the door. So hang tight on that for now. All right, up at the front of the car, I'm going to come down slightly and then angle in a little bit. So this is going to be based on the Dodge Charger police vehicles. And I'm scooping it down a little bit more here, more like the Dodge Challenger, because I think that's a slightly better line than what the Charger's got. And my guess is that police officers wish they were driving the new Dodge Challengers rather than the Chargers, so we'll give them a little upgrade here. Next I'm going to make, right about here will be the wheel well, but I'm going to leave that out for now. And I'm just lightly drawing the bottom line of the car for now. And the next wheel should be going right about here. And I'm kind of very lightly doing that. The lighter you can do all of this, the better. That way, if you've made a mistake, you can go back and fix it. So at the back here, I'm going to come down slightly, maybe just more than a third of the way down towards the bottom. I'm going to kick it out a little bit right here. And then we're going to, this is a slightly curving line to connect them. So now that we're doing a car episode, some of the viewers might realize that I'm the person they saw at a car show at some point along the years. I love going to car shows and sitting and sketching cars. It's kind of a strange hobby, I guess, but it works for me. So next I'm going to make the wheel well. And that's pretty much just the top portion of a circle. And again at the back. This one we're going to kind of angle it first and then go into a circle. And now that you've made wheel wells, you're going to want wheels. So we'll make circles inside of that. Typically, if I'm drawing a car from the side like this, usually I'll draw them from a 3/4 angle from the front. That's most cars, that's their best angle. I don't usually draw cars from the side like this because it's a slightly more boring angle. However, if you're starting off drawing cars, this is the angle to draw them from because there are a lot fewer angles to be worried about. As soon as you are looking at a car from a 3/4 angle, you start seeing very strange things happening where you know two lines are running parallel to each other, but because of what the overall shape of the hood might be doing, for example, the lines that your brain knows are parallel do not look parallel at all. So there are a lot more variables once you draw a car from an angle that you have to be very closely paying attention to. So now that we've got our circles for our wheels, we're going to put some fairly low profile tires on, so this circle will be kind of close to that outer circle. And then inside of that, we'll make another. You don't have to draw this entire circle going all the way around. You're going to kind of imply that there's an edge to this part of the wheel. And inside of this, we're going to make a smaller circle. And if you're a fan of the Blues Brothers, you know that cop cars have cop wheels. So the hubcap is very basic and it's going to be black, no shiny chrome or anything like that. So we're just going to put 5 spokes coming out, nothing too fancy. And the whole thing will be shaded black. And then I'm going to fill in the tire as well. Then we have to do the same thing up at the front. So I'm going to put, remember these were fairly low profile tires. So we're making the inner circle kind of close to that outer edge. And then we're implying a bend in the middle here. And then we'll put the center of the hubcap. Whoops, that's not quite in the middle there. And all of that will get shaded in black. We're going to put the 5 spokes on again. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, I didn't space them out quite right on this one. Then shade it all in. It's one of the dangers of drawing in pen. You're stuck with whatever you've put down. And then we'll fill in the tire as well. If you're working with a pen like this, a ballpoint pen, it's a good idea every now and then. I'm just realizing I haven't done it in a while, but every now and then take the pen off to the side and just kind of twist the edge of the tip along the paper. You can do it on a scrap piece of paper if you're doing an important drawing. But if you don't do that periodically, you will find that your pen will start to gum up with ink, and inevitably that ink will glob off at the worst possible moment when you're trying to go very lightly. Don't ask me how I know, just take my word for it. Inside of the window area now, I'm going to go ahead and separate, and it's coming at a slight angle, so it's not straight up and down. We're going to separate where the door area is. So we've got 3 lines running parallel there, and we'll want another line about back here. And then this middle one up here is going to come down slightly curving as the door, and you don't go quite all the way to the bottom on that. And we're going to want some headlights up here, so I'm going to come back up towards the grill, and we're going to make an L with a long bottom there. And then at the top we're going to kick the pen out, following along the shape of the hood. And then we're going to make another line just below that, and then we're going to angle it back. So this is where the headlights are. And inside of that, I'm putting a couple ovals, and they're kind of chopped off at the top. And I'm going to shade in a little bit there so they look like real headlights. And then since this is a Charger, the front is going to have a grill kind of like this. This part is split. So I've kind of put a rectangle there and another rectangle right underneath, like that. If you want your police car to have the push bar at the front, you can basically running parallel to the front edge of the car. You can come up like this, round it off, and bring it down, and then fill that in black. That's kind of an extra bumper if they need to escort your car off of the highway to a safe area. They slowly pull right up to the rear bumper of your car and push you along with that, and they don't do any damage to their car. And then we're going to put the searchlight up here. So that's just a line right by the mirror, and then we're putting a rounded shape right here. And since it's a police car, we're going to want a siren on top. The new police cars have very low profile sirens. So you don't want to make it too boxy. You're just putting a flat rectangle pretty close to the car there. And if you want the siren to be on, you can kind of make some scribbles coming out like that. And then since this was a Charger, I'll make the line for the front of the door too. Since this was a charger, we're going to have a graphic here, about like this. And we're going to come up right along the bottom part of the door windows, and we're going to run parallel from that and then straight back towards the back of the car. And at the bottom, we're going to come along parallel to the bottom of the car. And you can write your town on the side on the door. And you can write police in big block letters going back if you'd like. And you'll also want it to say 911. And then you can also add a shadow underneath the car. For that, you're just going to go the length of the car and right up to the bottom of it. And then you can write a message underneath, or if you did this on a card, you could write it inside the card, thanking your local police officers for their hard work. A lot of us have been staying home to stay safe, and unfortunately, police officers are still stuck working to make sure that everybody stays safe. So thank you, police officers, for all of your hard work. And if you're coloring this in, most towns, this would be black, like all the way around the main part of the car, and this section would be white, this graphic that we put here. Some towns, the cars are blue. It all depends on your municipality, I suppose. But most towns are using the chargers now, and they look pretty awesome. I'm just adding shadow here in the wheel well, which I forgot to do earlier. And there's your police car. Here is our finished police cruiser based on a Dodge Charger. I hope you enjoyed following along. Don't forget, this can be given to your local police as a thank you. You could just write a little note on it and drop it down at the police station. Don't forget to wear a mask and maintain your social distancing so they know you're a good guy. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.
All right, kids, now that you've finished your doodles, color them in and then share them with both Mike Paige and Medfield TV. We're going to take those images and we're going to put them all over our station. Can't wait to see what you guys make.